welcome back to my channel. This week we have the second in our second generation character themes for the month. I've gotten really good at hitting the cliches when it comes to original characters, you know, as I did with Game of Thrones and as I did with Teen Wolf and as I'm doing now with Harry Potter. That's right, this character is a black and her name is Sabrina Siria Black, and we will get into the irony of her name in a little bit. I'm going to leave Heidi's video linked down below for an explanation of the Harry Potter verse. I don't want to explain it again. It causes me physical pain to have to do that. So just go watch Heidi and it'll be there. Anyone who knows me knows I have always loved Sirius. Since the character was introduced into the series, and then the actor, I'm a huge fan of Gary Oldman's. I love him. I love the character. What he went through, being trapped in Azkaban for 12 years, with all that he dealt with while he was in Azkaban, and then watching him deteriorate, basically, after he got out and was alone for so long, and then being locked in the house he ran away from. I wanted to kill Dumbledore for that. And then when Sirius died, it was just, it hurt. It hurt a lot. So I felt, to keep that from getting as extreme as it did, I felt Sirius needed a purpose outside of trying to recreate and find his friendship with James and Harry. And that's how Sabrina came about. The irony of her name didn't hit me until I was already designing her and, the world she was going to live in. And yeah, I made a witch named Sabrina who is eventually going to become a teenage witch. And yeah, once the idea of Sabrina was set, I had to decide how she was going to be important to Sirius. I right away decided against a daughter because the guilt and anger he would have felt he did feel would have been amplified so much more by leaving his child behind while he was in prison for 12 years. So I played around with the timelines again and futzed with a few ages and decided she would be his niece. Yes, that means she is Regulus's daughter. I made him a bit closer in age with Sirius, gave him a lover that he hoped to turn into his wife, and that's how Sabrina came about. I knew I wanted Sabrina to be the same age as Harry, so that's why I messed with Regulus's age just a little bit. In the series, he dies at 18, the year before Harry is born, and that kind of presents a problem. So Sabrina is born in late 1979, making her about 7 months older than Harry, and Regulus dies when Sabrina is about 4 or 5 months old. A bit more complicated than what I did with Heidi, where all I really did there was mess with who was raising the kids and Tonks's age, but it doesn't really mess with the flow of the stories. Like Heidi, and like a lot of my characters, Sabrina loves drawing. And while with Heidi, her love of reading overrides her love of drawing, for Sabrina, creating art is her escape. It's her passion. With Heidi, she used mainly charcoals as her medium of choice when drawing. Sabrina is a strictly pastel girl. She loves her pastels. She loves those muted colors, the soft shades she gets from them. And even though she's a black and in Slytherin, yes, I did that, she could almost be described as delicate. On first impression anyway. I repeat, she is black. But just having her take time to sit in a quiet place and sketch whatever comes to her mind, or even what she's seeing at the time, it's very peaceful to write. Because there's very little limit to what can be drawn, just like with writing, I'm never stuck for ideas when I need Sabrina to just have a quiet moment, either by herself or with her friends. The hardest part of writing Sabrina is that she lives with the Malfoys. After Regulus died and Sirius went to prison, she lived with her paternal grandmother. But once Walburga died around Sabrina's 6th birthday, which is canon, I looked it up, she is sent to live with her next closest living relatives, and that is Lucius, Narcissa, and Draco. And it's not an easy life. It's nowhere near as bad as Harry has it with the Dursleys, but they can definitely understand each other. it is no walk in the park. Behind closed doors, and generally where no one can see, Narcissa treats Sabrina fairly. She treats her like any good mother would. But when they're in public, I mean, pureblood standards are everything. Regulus was supposedly a traitor. Sirius was a traitor. And it doesn't help that her mother was a werewolf. Lucius has no time for Sabrina and makes no effort in hiding his disdain for the fact that Narcissa agreed to take Sabrina in. For Draco, it's a bit more of a challenge. Sabrina's family, and for the Malfoys and the Blacks, family is everything, as long as you toe the line. But he also wants to please his father, which means he has to be snide, cruel, and belittling, and mean to Sabrina. As they get older, things do change with them, but given the hatred between Draco, her cousin, and Harry, her best friend and surrogate brother, that adds another level of complication that's also hard to write. Basically, family is a pain in my ass, and no amount of research or personal experience will ever make it easier to write. Family is complicated. Let's just lay that line right down. Family is complicated. These next two parts are full of spoilers, as Sabrina is not posted yet, but she's far enough along where I feel comfortable posting them and talking about them. Best memory for Sabrina is when she's able to get Sirius released from prison at the end of the third book. With help from Snape, a vial of Veritaserum, and a pensieve, Sabrina is able to show the Minister and Dumbledore her memories of what happened in the Shrieking Shack with Wormtail. She's able to show the truth of it because she made sure it was all her idea. She made sure to take the Veritaserum. She made sure someone saw her taking it, and it was the Minister and Dumbledore looking at the memories, so the Minister couldn't just be like, no, that's not how it works. The elation she has over helping her uncle in such a huge way, and the fact that after he's released, she gets to go live with him is one of the happiest moments of her life, and Sirius is as well. The genuine amount of happiness that I got to put into that scene, I have no words for how much I loved writing it. It was the first step in the right direction towards why I created Sabrina for Sirius. Worst memory for Sabrina, hands down, is when Draco tells her about becoming a Death Eater and being forced with the task of killing Dumbledore. Sabrina is terrified for Draco because by book 6 they have a pretty good relationship. So he confides in her and she is terrified for him. And she's angry at Voldemort and Dumbledore, and she's scared of what the world is turning into. And given the type of person Sabrina is, she's so strong and sure and capable with a wit that could, cut through skin. Writing her so lost and scared and confused is hard. And I think it's actually one of the hardest things I've ever written for any of my characters. I don't like feeling that way myself. I don't like the feeling of confusion and fear. I don't like it. So having to write it for one of my characters, or as I see them, one of my children, it's never a good feeling, and it is extremely difficult to be able to put into words. Sabrina started, like I said, as a touchstone for Sirius to keep him anchored to reality when it was so clear his mind was slipping between his escape and his death. She brought him back to ground, reminded him what's real and what's not, something not even Remus was able to do as his best friend. For Sabrina, it was about making sure what little was left of her family, at the end of it, it was making sure she still had that. That at the end of it all, she still had some form of family. And to do that, Sirius needed help. Help she was willing to give him. Now she's so strong in such a part of things. It's like Heidi. I've blended her so well into things. I can imagine where she's going to be with each and every scene. Each and every book, and even in the movies. She's just there, and I consider that a very good thing when it comes to writing original characters. Sabrina has no posted work yet. Relatively speaking, like in comparison to Heidi, she's still in the very early stages of writing. But she has enough done where I knew I could do her breakdown post and be comfortable with how it turned out because enough of her story has been formed. Once her stories are up, I will put the links down in the description below so you guys can go read them. For now, that is our character breakdown for Sabrina Siria Black. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Let's see, Harry Potter trivia. Favorite bad guy. Seeing as how with Sabrina, she interacts a lot more with the bad guy side of things because, you know, she lives with the Malfoys and all that, and she is black. Let me know who your favorite bad guy is from the series. Remember to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the little notification bell so you always get a notification whenever I upload. All of my social media handles will be down in the description box below, along with Heidi's video and the link to my blog, so you can read the post that goes along with this video, and I will see you guys in next week's video. That's a lot of videos. Bye!